Hi, welcome to this video. I'll be showing you how you can get publicity for any arts and cultural event going on in Pickens County. And you can do it in one simple form. So if you're listening to this, you probably already are involved in the arts and culture in Pickens County, so you know that we've already got a lot of great stuff going on, and I think we all want to get the word out to more and more people about what we have to offer here. I'm Lisa Schnellinger. I'm the president of the board of the Pickens Arts and Cultural Alliance, and we're trying to support all the arts and culture in Pickens County. That's groups, individuals, and businesses. So what we're trying to do here is make it easy for everybody by marketing those events and putting it all into one place where you can just enter the information one time. So if you fill out this one form, for sure that information is then going to be used in at least 3 places, and all of them are with PACA's outlets right now. The first is the quarterly calendar. You may have seen our quarterly guide to the arts that came out for the last quarter of 2013. We feature a local artist at the top, and then we have the events below. So that's printed and distributed all over town. Hope you've seen that. So that's for every 3 months. Now we also have a monthly newsletter. This email goes out to all of our members as well as other people who have subscribed to it. And that goes out at the end of each month for the following month. And then finally, we've got on our website the actual events calendar, which is an online calendar, and you can subscribe to this if you use Google Calendars. So, and to get there, basically you go from the website of PACA, and our address is www.pacageorgia.org. That's PACA Georgia.org. Georgia spelled out. So if you go there and then you go to events, you'll get the calendar. And to fill out the form, you'll see right here, the link to the form is on the events page. So if you click that link, voila, you're at the form. So if you fill out this form, you're going to get your event in all 3 of those places that I just showed you. We're also working to see if we can use this very same form to publish in other local publications and outlets like No Pickens or The Progress or Smoke Signals. So eventually our hope is that you'll be able to do this and you'll get publicity everywhere, including outside of North Georgia in other parts of the state. So I know you hate filling out forms, right? Everybody does. So sorry about that. But the reason we have to do that in a form is, we're all volunteers here, and having a uniform digital version of events really helps us save a lot of time and labor. So if you'll just do us this favor to take a few minutes, complete the form, you'll get lots of publicity, and you'll also save yourself work because you won't have to send it out to different places. So this online form, as you saw, you can get to from our page, and I'm going to walk through it with you. So when you click on the link and you get here, you'll see at the top we've got the deadlines listed. The quarterly calendar is usually the middle of the month of the last month of the prior quarter. So for the first quarter of the year, it's December 15th. For the other quarters, it's March 15th, June 15th, etc. So if you miss that deadline, you should be sure to still fill out the form because we've got our monthly newsletter. And for that, the deadline, as you can see, is the 21st of the month before the event. So if your event is in March, you want to be sure you get it to us by February 21st to get into the March newsletter. And finally, the website calendar, even if you miss both of those other deadlines, you can still get it on the website, and that's just 72 hours before your events. You can also send us separately from this form if you have photos, logos, or even a longer article that you want us to post on the website, you can email it to us, and that's the address right here. We don't want you to use the email, though, for events calendar stuff for the reasons I explained earlier. So when you're filling out the form, be sure you pay attention to the big red required asterisk. That's most of the questions. And we're going to walk through now the actual fields. I think it's pretty obvious, but let me walk through it with you. So the name of the sponsor is obviously your group's title. If you're an individual, you can put your name there, or a business, whatever it is, all right? Second field is the title of the actual event. So if it's a play, you'd put the title of the play. If it's an exhibit and it has a name, you'd put that. So that's where you put that. And then you've got the date and time of the event. If it's more than one day, you're going to have to complete both questions, but if it's a one-time event, then you'll just need to do the first one. So here we're asking you for not only the date, but the time. So the easiest way to do this is click way over here, this far right drop-down little arrow. If you click on it, you'll get a nice calendar, and you can scroll to the day of your event. Let's say your event is February 14th, Valentine's Day. So let's click on that date, and you can see that it fills the fields in for you, which is very handy. All right. So notice when I clicked away from that, it says this is a required question. That's because you have to fill in the time as well. So suppose that your event is at 7. You can use these arrows right here, the up and down arrows, and it'll start at 12. If you go backwards, you can go to 7. All right. And if it's just right at 7, you can just click the up arrow and you'll get 0. If it's at 7:30, you could click the up arrow 30 times if you wanted, but it's easier to just type 30. And then this last bit is for AM or PM. So there you have it. That's how you fill that in. Now the ending date, if your exhibit is going several days, let's say it's going 2 days rather than just 1, or several weeks, then go and pick the closing date. All right. So if this is a 2-day event, there's the next one. Okay. The next field is a summary description of the event. We're asking you to just give us 15 words or less. Now that might not seem like very much, but it's really all that most publications have room for, if that. Some of them won't even give you that much. So we want you to do that summarizing. If you write something longer and we have to summarize it, it might not be exactly the way you like it. So we'd really prefer that you do that summary for us. And notice here that even though the box is really small, it does have room for 15 words. So go ahead. Don't give us too much, but do give us 15 words. 15 of your best and most interesting words. So in the next field, we're asking you for public contact for more information. What we want there is, this is going to be published, so we want the person that anybody can call, or the office, and email to get more information. It's nice if you can put name, phone number, and email, or website address, but at least one of those points of contact really needs to be here. So this is going to get published, so make sure that you got all the digits right, that you spelled the name right, that you didn't make any mistakes in the email, all of that sort of thing, because we don't really have time to go through and verify all this information. So again, remember, we're volunteers, so if you double check it, that would be great, because this will be published. Okay, so down here we have a field which is also not necessarily going to be published, but it's useful information. You might want to include all kinds of things depending on what your event is. So that could be lots of things. It might be more information about who's in the performance, or it might be more information about how you get tickets, or any of those sorts of things. Really anything you want to point out to us to make sure we know about or don't miss, that's the place to put it. You've got lots of room there. Okay, then of course we want you to put the exact location. Now you might think, well, gosh, everybody knows where the high school is, but in fact they don't, especially newcomers, and we want to be sure that we get more newcomers involved, right? So this is where you need to give us the full address of where the event's going to be. You don't need to put the state or zip code, but we do want the street address and the city, and then maybe a landmark if there is one. That would be great if it's hard to find. So that's that field. And then the cost, obviously you want to put however much the cost is per person. If it's free, you can type free. And the last thing we ask for is who submitted it. We want your name and contact info. Now, we're not going to publish this. This is strictly so that we can contact you if you have questions, or if we have questions for you about the information that you're submitting. Okay, so that's where you put that in. Put in either phone or email. That's however is best for us to reach you. Okay, so now that you've filled out the form, and see, that was pretty easy, right? Now you have to submit it. So be certain, don't just click this button and walk away. When you click it, you want to make sure you get this message. The screen will change. It'll say, thanks, we'll get that info out to the world, and that's your confirmation that all the information went in and it was received. If you don't get this, it's either because there was a problem with it at Google's end, or more likely, you didn't fill in all the fields. And in that case, you'll get a blank, you'll get a red highlight showing you, oops, you didn't fill in this field. So make sure you've done that, and then you can submit your response. Once you see this screen, you're done, and you don't have to worry about this button, create your own form, because that's just an advertisement for Google, although it's handy if you need to create forms. If you have more than one event, let's say you're submitting events for the quarterly calendar, you can click this and then that submit another response, and that just brings you back to a nice clean blank form where you can fill it out again and give us that information. So that's it. That's all you need to know, and we hope that this is helpful. And by the way, be sure and spread the word, because we want to make sure we get every single event put out there into the world and publicized. So hope this was good for you, and see you online very soon. We look forward to receiving your information and getting more publicity out.